Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's Vesna here. Thank you so much for stopping by. For today's video, I'm going to be showing you how you can make a noodle board using pretty much all Dollar Tree supplies. What you will need are 5 signs from the Dollar Tree, the long ones. They have the love ones for Valentine's Day. These are for St. Patty's Day. This is what they had, so I picked it up. And you need 5 of them. I needed them to be 24 inches long, and that's what you want. And you need 5 of them for a stove that's 30 inches wide. Then you need these other pieces. These are signs, also from the Dollar Tree. Now I found these in the home decor aisle, and they're not quite 24 inches long. They're a little bit less. They're about 20 inches long, and they're thicker pieces of wood is basically what they are. And I've seen love ones before. These are the ones that they had right now, so I bought these ones, and you'll need 2 of those. And then you'll also need the giant popsicle sticks or craft sticks, whatever you want to call them. I only found the colorful ones, so you only need 1 pack and you won't need all of them, but you can do any kind. You just need a pack of them. And it really depends whether you'll use the whole pack or not, depending on how wide your stove is and how many you put on. You'll see how many I used for my size of piece, and then you can kind of judge what you need. And then you also need paint and some handles. The handles are the only things that I couldn't find at the Dollar Tree. I had these ones. They may have them at the Dollar Tree. I've never actually looked. I had these ones on hand from a dresser that I redid, so I thought they would be fine for this project. You can probably pick them up for about $1 a piece. I've seen them at Home Depot, just any kind of handles. They could be plastic, metal, whatever. And I'm just spray painting them in a matte black. So just quick about my channel, if you haven't been here before, again, my name is Vesna, this is Vesna TV. This is my DIY channel where I do all sorts of different DIYs, everything on a budget, and I work really hard to show you guys how you can have some high-end decor on a budget. So I do like thrift store, Dollar Tree thrift store flips, Dollar Tree DIYs, trash to treasures, all sorts of things I do on this channel. Most of this is for my home because we recently bought a house. Well, recently, maybe about 1.5 years ago. No, 2 years ago now. We bought our house, and I've been slowly trying to make nice home decor for this house. So a lot of the stuff that you see here, actually all of the stuff that you see here, I use in my home. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe and leave me a comment saying hi so that I know that you subscribed. Thank you so much, and let's keep on watching. So for the white paint, I'm using the Rustoleum Chalked Linen white paint. And again, you could probably use acrylic paint if you wanted. I just, like I've said in previous videos, I always have a giant can of this paint because I use it a lot. So I'm going to be painting that out with that. And I'm removing the little metal clover leaves, and I'm going to be keeping that for maybe a St. Patty's Day DIY. I was going to paint this side of the sign, but then I decided, because it was ripping off quite a bit of the cardboard, that I didn't want to, I wanted it to be more even, so I painted the other side of this. And I will be filling, so you will need this as well. I'm going to be filling the little holes with some wood filler. And whenever I paint in my chalk paint, again, don't worry about brush strokes because you can get rid of them easily with a little bit of sanding, and make sure you're just going in all sorts of directions. So I wound up doing 2 coats of this, and I did, like I said, sand in between coats, and I just used any sandpaper I had on hand, and I just very, very lightly sanded it down just to give it a bit of a smoother finish. So I'm not going to show you painting the second coat because I don't think it's necessary, but I just do want to show you how I sanded it. It was, like I said, very, very light. I tried using this little sander, and then I didn't like the way it was working, so I just used some sandpaper, again from the Dollar Tree, and I lightly sanded it down and put on another coat of the white paint. And then I went ahead and I did the same thing with the little longer wood signs, the green ones. And I painted these guys out twice just to get a nice coverage, sanded in between, and waited them to fully dry. And with the chalk paint, it doesn't take too long, maybe a couple hours, so they were ready to go. You just want to make sure that you apply a light coat and then another coat rather than trying to cake on too much. Otherwise, you'll get it won't look nicely finished. So you know, less is more, as I always say. Now, you know that I've made a noodle board before. If you watched any of my videos, you might have seen it. I made one where I used actual wood and I stained it, and it was from the Home Depot, all of the stuff. It cost about the same amount to make it that way, but you do need power tools and involves a little bit more work. So I wanted to show you something that's a little bit maybe easier to do, especially if you can't get to Home Depot or you don't have a way to bring those things home. So, you know, this kind of gives you another option, but I'll link the video in here and I'll link it at the end as well, so you can check out that video too. So I'm just using some wood filler to fill in these holes, and then I just kind of push it in and I flatten it out. I didn't need to sand or fix it up or anything. I did a pretty good job pushing it in and evening it out, but you could if you needed to. I tend to not like doing stuff like this because I find that it's just not as perfect as I want it to be, but I was pretty satisfied with this, and I don't even notice it when it's on the stove, so I guess I did a good job. So then once you do that, then you want to connect these boards together. Now you could do all sorts of different things. For this, I'm showing you how to do it with the giant popsicle sticks, but you could also even glue down another, if you bought another 2 signs, you could glue them down on the back. That'll make it that much stronger. The stove where I'm keeping it, I'm not going to be removing it all the time. It's an extra stove that I use when I'm cooking something stinky, or if I have company coming, not that we have any company coming now, but or if I'm making a big dinner or something for us where I need more than 4 burners, I guess. But it is still fairly stable. But like I said, you could, if you're going to be moving it, you know, 10, 15 times a day, then you might want to add different things on the back. But these will keep them really, really sturdy. The only thing is, it's just because it's a big board, that's why I'm saying you might want to do more. So I'm adding E6000 and hot glue. I'm doing both onto these, and I am gluing them where the crease is. And I'm going to be doing that for all of them, and I do 2 of those popsicle sticks so it covers the entire length. And then I also do 1 down the middle crossways. That way it just reinforces it a little bit. And the reason I'm using the hot glue and the E6000 is because I want to make sure that it takes hold right away, so I don't have to leave it 24 hours. But I will be leaving it to set a little bit, and I'm going to put something heavy on top so that way I can ensure that it has a nice, good hold. And I just put some heavy books and some heavy wood on top, and I leave it for a couple of hours to set. And when I come back, it's nice and set, and I'm not concerned about it falling apart. So when I come back, I go ahead and I pre-drill some holes into the other side of my board to leave a place where I'm going to screw in the handles. You could hot glue everything. I screwed it in because I wanted a better hold. But you could use a combination of wood glue or E6000 and hot glue. But I figured a screw would be perfect for this. So I'm just pre-drilling the holes on the actual noodle board and on those green signs that I painted, those green pieces of wood. Now the handles I showed you are these, and I did wind up painting them black so they look really nice now. And I'm just trying to measure out where exactly I want them. I'm putting them in the middle of the small sign board, like the little board that I bought, the green one. And what I'm doing is I'm measuring how long the handle is, where the little holes go, and then I'm leaving each like an equal amount of space from the top and bottom so that it's right in the middle. And I mark it off, and then I drill my holes. So just make sure you carefully measure where exactly you want to go and double check it twice, because once you drill that hole, then it's, I mean, there is going back. You can always put wood filler, but I just find why do that to yourself if you don't have to. So once that's done, then I go ahead, I pre-drill everything, get it all ready, and then I put my handles in, and then I drill, then I mark off again where I want this smaller piece of wood to go with the handle. And again, it's just right in the middle of the noodle board on the sides, like in the middle. So I'm leaving the same amount from the top, same amount from the bottom, and then I'm drilling that part down too. Again, you could hot glue / E6000 this, but I wanted to drill it to screw it in to make sure that it has a nice hold. And I just have a cheap Black & Decker drill. I don't have anything fancy. Now, when you go to screw in the actual like wood part to the board, you may want to have someone help you just hold it. So what I did was I kind of let the board hang off the side of my table and I screwed from underneath. And so my husband helped me with that, because if you try to hold the board up with one hand and try to screw it, like it's very awkward. And because the board is so long and thin, you risk of maybe like warping it a little bit, and you don't want to do that. So just have it hang off a little bit on the side of your table or wherever you're screwing, and just screw it in from the bottom. So once that was done, I used my Cricut to cut out this S and put EST as an established in 2008, and that is when my husband and I got married. So I cut this out just on some gray permanent vinyl. I used the Easy November script, and I just made a capital S, and then I found this cute little free SVG of the circle border around, and I measured where I wanted it to go on the board, again in the middle, from the sides and from the top and bottom, and I put it on the sign. And then I wanted the sign to look a little bit rustic, so what I did was I added some of the country gray from Rustoleum chalked paint, and I dry brushed it onto this sign to make it look like it's a little bit distressed. So if you don't know what dry brushing is, it's when you take a little bit of paint and you wipe the excess off on a rag or a paper towel, and then you just brush what was left on the paintbrush. And I just did it in random spots, but just making sure that I was going up and down, not side to side. And if I put too much on, I just rubbed it off with a little bit of a paper towel. And that's it. And if you put too much on, you can always go back over with the white paint. No big deal. Here it is all finished on my stove. I love the way it turned out. It's beautiful. It covers the ugly stove because it's not a very nice stove. And it just looks perfect in the little kitchen. I love it. So let me know what you thought of this video. Leave me a comment below. Check out the other noodle that I made if you want something that's a little bit more sturdy and, that stained look. Let me know what you think, and subscribe if you haven't subscribed. And thank you so much for watching. Have an excellent day.